Making your physical map, we were able to identify the difference between land, water. You guys know what a title and a map key, and even our super bonus, the compass rose. So we're very proud of you and we love seeing your pictures. So this week we're going to do something a little different. We are going to use 2D shapes to represent the 3D shapes that are in our bedrooms, and we are actually going to make a map of our bedroom. So before we get started, I kind of want to talk to you a little bit about 2D shapes and review what some of the 2D shapes are. So a 2D shape is a shape that is two-dimensional, 2D, and it's flat. So a lot of times we'll call them flat shapes. And all that means is that it has length and width. So when you look at these shapes, it's long and it's wide. If I was kind of to hold it flat, you can see that, this is the width and this is the length. So we have a square, a circle, a triangle, a rectangle, and a hexagon. So in your challenge this week, you can go, as one of your center times, you can go on a 2D or 3D shape hunt. So some of the things you might find that might represent some of those 2D shapes are, I have a Post-it note, which is a square. I have one of my kids' magnetiles, which is what? A triangle. I've got a coaster, and that's a circle. And then I've got a cell phone, and that is a rectangle. So 3D shapes are a little bit different. They're called 3D because they're three-dimensional. That means that not only do they have length and width, but they also have height. So they're solid figures. You can kind of hold on to them. They're tall, they're not squished in flat. Now 3D shapes have what we call faces. That's the front part. So the face of this is a cube. So the face of this shape is a square. But a 3D shape also has a couple things. It has not just one face, but if I turn it around, you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 faces. And where the faces meet, you get this thing right here called an edge. And then when there are a lot of faces meet, you get this thing right here, and that's called a vertex. So that's the main difference between 2D shapes and 3D shapes. So let me show you some other examples. This right here is a cone. I have a sphere. This jar of peanut butter is a cylinder. And I got one more. This little packet of tissues is called a rectangular prism. So when we go to make a map of our bedroom, what we're doing is we're gonna, instead of being cartographers this week, we're gonna be an architect or a building contractor, and we're gonna make a map of our bedroom. And so a map of our bedroom is actually called a blueprint. I have an example of a blueprint of my house that I'm going to show you. And so if I get real close, you can see that there are some flat shapes that represent some solid figures in my house. So I'm going to do a little magic trick. And before we get started, we're going to jump over into my bedroom so I can show you the solid figures in my bedroom, and we can decide what 2D shapes we want to represent them. So are you ready? It worked. Here I am. Let me give you a tour of my room and let's decide what 2D shapes we want to represent. So the first thing I'm gonna do is when I show you the different things, I'm gonna kind of write down how many shapes and kind of the sizes that I need. So let's take a look. Looking at the back wall, I'm gonna need 2 squares to represent my desk and nightstand. And then I've got this really long, it's hard to see, bed that is the shape of a rectangle. So I'll probably get a really big rectangle for that. And then another small square for the nightstand. Now I've got some 2D shapes. I've got 2 rectangles, but since they're not solid figures, I'm not actually gonna include the windows on my map. Looking over here, my surfboard chair, it's kind of an odd shape, but it's mostly a triangle, so I'm gonna use a triangle for that. And then my circle is going to represent the cylinder, which is my laundry basket. And I think I'm gonna use another rectangle for my dresser, and then maybe one more tall rectangle for my DVD case. Now, it's too hard for me to make a map with my closet, and then I've got my bathroom over there, so I'm just gonna leave those out. The first thing you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna keep your piece of paper facing the same direction. So I'm gonna use a clipboard to help me so I'm not rotating it as I make my map. The second thing I did to make it easier is I pre-cut out the shapes I said I was going to use, so that way all I have to do is place them as I look at the bedroom. If you don't want to do that, you can look at the space without moving your clipboard, and then you can just draw the picture. So let's get started. When I back up and I look at my space again, I'm going to use 2 small squares, my large rectangle, and then my last small square. And I notice that's all on the back wall. So let's get started. I'm gonna set down 1, because it's kind of in the corner, 2, use my big rectangle to represent my bed, and then the last nightstand. Now, looking at that wall, remember we said we're not going to include the windows, so on my paper I'm not going to do anything to that side. All right, so let's look at the next wall, and I'm going to kind of move slow so I don't make you dizzy. Okay, on this next wall it looks like I need a triangle, a circle, and then a large, well, I would call it a medium-sized rectangle since we already used the large rectangle, and then my small rectangle. So let's go back to our paper and do it on our paper. So here is the triangle to represent the surfboard in the corner, the circle to represent the laundry basket, and I'm gonna take my medium rectangle and I'm gonna do it this way instead of this way because that's how it was facing. And then I'm gonna do my last small one right there. So those are all the shapes in my room. Now I decorated my map to make it look a little bit more like my room. You can see that I added my computer, I put a trapezoid to represent my lamp and some of the small things. You don't have to do that. The only thing you have to do is you have to add a title. So my title is Miss Farrell's Room. So that's all we have for the map of my room. Okay friends, we cannot wait to see the maps you make of your bedrooms, or we should say your blueprint of your bedroom. So have fun being builders or architects this week, and remember the only thing you need on your map is just the name or the title, and then the rest is just 2D shapes to represent the 3D shapes in your room. Aloha friends. I'm gonna do my magic trick again. Are you ready?